Hey YouTubers, this is Rob recording another look at another C64 game. This time we're looking at Ace, the Air Combat Emulator, which was developed by Cascade Games in 1985. It's actually probably the game that got me really into flight sims as a kid. This is one of the really early games I had on my C64, and spending a lot of time struggling to understand how to play the thing because that's how you got games sometimes. It sort of got me interested in the whole idea of flight games. So it does a lot of things it's a fairly simple flight game compared to a lot of others, especially when you're looking at companies like Microprose. But it all fitted in a single tape load, and it was fast. Everything's sprite based rather than trying to do 3D graphics. And whilst 3D graphics do sort of help some level of immersion, they also do break performance on a system like the C64. And compared to other flight sims, Ace was one of the early ones that actually had mid-air refueling. So what are you doing when you're in flight? You'll be informed that there's a refueling plane that you need to rendezvous with, and if you get there, you actually have to maneuver your plane to hit the refueling socket. I've never been able to do it, so I won't be able to demonstrate it, but that's sort of the basics. So we'll dive in. One of the other things that's really cool with this game is the crew option. Most flight simulators, of course, are single player, and you have one joystick and you do everything else on the keyboard. Ace actually allowed you to have a single person come on board as the weapons officer. So they would have a joystick, I believe, plugged into port 1 with the pilot using port 2, and they would be responsible for firing your missiles, air to air, air to ground, air to ship. Whereas the pilot would, and the weapons officer could also maneuver your targeting reticle and lock onto targets, whereas the pilot could only do that with the keyboard. So I'm only going to play pilot as a pilot, and then you've got scenario sync, so I think we're going to use summer, which is the easiest. And let's dive in. So first thing is you've got your weapon loads. Multi-role is sort of a mix of air and ground missiles. Air superiority is air missiles, ground attack is ground missiles, naval attack is air-sea missiles. You also have a internal cannon, and you've also got airs to deflect incoming missiles. So let's go and take off. I'll just use a multi-role configuration for now. Clear for flight, and you can have a look. You've got your thrust, your fuel, your altitude, your undercarriage, wheels, gear, your velocity, your score, your compass radar. You've got your compass, your radar, you've got your attitude indicator, you've got rear camera, which tells you tracking missiles, your current status, and then you've got a message indicator. So let's take off. So again, it's fairly simple. You have to worry about flaps or anything. You really only just have to worry about just getting enough. There we go, raise the wheels. That took a long time to learn back in the day. So, right. So the next thing we look at is we look at the map. We can see there are ground forces due south of us. So let's head south. And let's switch to our air to ground missiles. Oops, we might have turned a little too far. Alright, so it's just the southwest. So you have a look at the map, and it highlights the location of all your enemy. In this case, we've only just got ground forces, and we need to intercept and take those out, along with the resupplying anti-air aircraft and naval forces. So in this case, we'll be entering enemy territory shortly, which is on the map is this section that's indicated in red. We need to just line up. Yeah, now indicated enemy territory. And we can also see that there are now Excellent. There's another tank. And that's one of the other things I really love with this game. Speech. Might have been a bit gulled, but yeah, it had an audio warning that missiles were being fired, which I kind of like in terms of a touch of just being able to give you that extra bit of situational awareness. Now, back in the day, I never used to be able to have those gunnery skills to actually take out a plane, an enemy ground vehicle. So I'm actually quite happy with myself so far. Let's come and line up. Alright, there's another tank there which we'll line up. Oh, we've been hit. Alright, we've got one missile left, so I'm gonna have to... Alright, we're gonna have to retreat, return to base. Okay, we're in Allied territory, that's good. So now we're going to runway mode. I like this, the fact that the game's automatically assisting you by switching you into the right mode. So in this case, we need to come down, pull the throttle back a bit more. Unfortunately, we missed the, we overshot it because we were too high, so let's come around for another pass. We can see landing there. So next thing to do is bring the wheels down. We're doing less than 200. Speed, storm warning would kill us. So we're coming in. And we failed miserably. Alright, what is today? Today is the... Alright. Let's go for another run. This time we'll go ground attack, because our concern is to pretty much deal with ground targets. So yeah, I really like this as sort of like that casual flight sim, where you need to worry about enough to be able to fly a plane properly, but you don't need to worry about the minutiae. You know, the controls, when I actually found the manual, controls are really only a single page. And there's more speech. So let's go line ourselves up, head south, and find some enemy ground targets. And of course, now when I'm going for an air-ground loadout, there's... And the moment I go for an air-ground loadout, there's planes. So we've entered enemy territory. We've got targets to southwest, which means we should make some throttle back a bit. And we've got our ground targets coming up. Whoops. You have trouble. I see him. You want to stall there? But yeah, as I said, I really love the fact that you're dealing with speech as an input. The fact you have this nice clear radar that actually indicates air and ground targets. Air are the white elements, and the... So we could do so if he's going lock. Alright. Unfortunately, I'm out of air missiles because I only did a multi-roll run. So at this stage, my option is really to just see if I can line this target up and go for the guns. Damn it. And now we can see what's just come up is the indicator for the refueling plane in that message window. So if we reach that given velocity and altitude, and line up with the refueling plant on the map, which we'll now see, that giant tanker, we can perform a refuel. As I said, I've never had any success with that, so I will probably not do that this game. I think we'll be boring trying to line up. Excellent. That's another aircraft taken down. Alright, I'm gonna. Alright, I'm gonna go and refuel, so. Here's why I'm descending down. I've been damaged. I'm out of air missile, so I really think it's wise for me to try and come in for landing again, and hopefully this time not make such a big mess of it. Okay, start to coming low because we're. So if we have a look, let's line up. Let's head west. Line up the runway. So that's the thing. So when I was dogfighting those planes, the frame rate was very fluid, and it actually makes the game incredibly playable as a result, because you're not sort of dealing with these frame rates where it's like it stutters, and so as a result you can feel that you are in control. I mean, I feel all the keyboard controls for weapons have been responsive, the joystick's been responsive. And that's pretty much everything I want in a good flight game. All right, should be coming on track with the runway now. Oh, failed again. Well, there we go. So there we are. That's Ace, a fairly early flight simulator that was designed very much to be fun and playable. I mean, I really liked the way the controls are responsive. I like the way that there's a fairly basic control setup. I like the fact that you've got that two-player integration. And I like the fact that rather than having this whole sort of campaign of missions, you just have this one scenario with a few modifiers. Winter and nighttime combat. The second player, as I mentioned, just really keeps a small number of variables. It keeps the game fun. I like the fact that you sort of seamlessly transition, and I like the fact that the game assists you a lot. These days, when it comes to flying games, you've got total arcade-style experiences in your territories of, for example, the remake of Afterburner Climax. You've got that sort of semi-sim that I think the Ace Combat series best entails, but then you've got your crazy, hardcore, you really need to print a giant paper manual style simulators as well. This is very much towards that simpler side, but enough to give you the experience. And I like the way it works. I like the fact that rather than trying to do complex 3D graphics or simple 3D graphics, they've gone for sprites, using what the hardware is good at, and it shows. There's a nice fast frame rate. And I like the fact that they've paired. It's sort of a minimalistic thing where they've paired back a lot of the things you need to worry about to their basics, and still gotten a really playable game out of it. I haven't played this game since I was a kid. I was just doing some reading because it's like I always remembered it, and I always wondered how to really play it properly. And even then, I'm actually really blown away at how well it works, how well this game works, and how playable it is. I always loved the speech. That was one of those things I never forgot. And nowadays, I think that's something that actual real fighter planes have now, is they have these automated systems actually giving you speech warnings, and it really does help. So yeah, I really like this game. I'm surprised how much I'm liking it, because I always thought it was fun, but never really clicked into it because I moved on to other games. But looking at it now for fresh eye after such a long period of time, it stands out really well, and it's one I think you really need to have a look at just to see sort of like, can you bring a game to some minimal concepts, still providing some challenge and making it fun. So thanks very much for watching. Leave feedback, subscribe, all the rest. And I look forward to bringing you some more C64 games in the future. Thanks.